All right. Sorry about that. I think we broke the internet with that. That was awesome. And I'm sorry, I had to mute you, Hefe. I'll unmute you now. You were causing a feedback loop.
And that was crazy. I think I added some of my own effects in there. That was awesome. That was like a live mix with my mic and technical stuff.
Oh man. Yep.
That was cool. I like the visual effects you put in there. Added a nice touch.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I got that picture off of Gravy's Lens profile, and I was like, all right, I'm going to turn this one picture into a music video. Watch.
That is the infamous pumpkin biscuits there.
Yeah.
Dang, that feedback loop was kind of cool, though. That was unintended, but it came out real nice. That's a That's a CiderDan remix. So we are officially kicking off the GMI Artist Summit now, and that was the alias CiderDan beatboxing for us. One of his many talents besides shipping constantly is, I think you said once that you were a drummer and you also dabble with beatboxing. So how cool is that? That's one of the summoners of Pixelcraft.
That was awesome, man. I was impressed. I was about to go to bed. I was like almost done things. You dropped me that. I was like, oh, here we go. I'm back in Final Cut.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. And I appreciate all the GMI folks that are here today with us. You know, we got OXZ5, McCallum up here as well. We all these guys worked hard to put all this together and make sure we have a great day of speakers and events and performances. So I guess real quick, I can go through kind of like the general agenda for what it's going to look like today. And then we'll get right into it with Jesse GldnXross kicking off our first presentation / discussion. So we're here now, all 70 of us. We might get more people piling in, but today is all around showcasing the work that's been done so far. And so one of the ways we're doing that is through a silent auction that we'll be holding. If OXZ5, if you have the link for that, if you don't mind dropping that, throughout the auction, throughout the day, we will be referencing this page. And so all the artwork that's up for purchasing today is going to be available there. And there's a ticketing system where you'll be able to submit your bids. We can go into more detail on that at some point today. But in the meantime, head over to that link and look at some of the work that's being displayed there. We reached out to a bunch of community artists and other people who have submitted their artwork. Some of it's one-of-one, some of it's more exclusive. But though all the artwork is there, see what you like, and we'll kick off the bidding through the ticket system. McCallum, we could give some more details on the ticketing system if you are able to
Yeah, let me
provide.
jump in here real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, just dropped a channel message link here in the GMI Artist Summit, so you can hot link to it. But essentially, if you're in the GMI server, you're going to roll all the way to the very top of the channel listings. At the very, very top of it, making it easy, there's an Art Summit Bidder channel. In that channel, you'll see the instructions for how to submit a ticket bid, as well as get a link to the artist catalog right now that's currently available.
Well said. Thank you. And
One other thing
go
too,
ahead.
though, on that. Sorry, we settled this last night. Is we would really prefer all of the bids to be submitted in ghost denominations, just to make the accounting easier for me, please. But we are open to taking ghost, alchemica, glitter, or stables. All are welcome.
Awesome. Yeah. So just make sure you denominate the bid in Ghost, and we can convert it over to whatever means you wanna pay with. Okay, awesome. So that is the Artists Summit Auction Gallery. We can keep touching on that throughout the day. Let us know if anything really stands out at you specifically. And so, other than that, we are going to get into our day of speakers. We got GldnXross, who's going to be doing a keynote presentation on Aavegotchi art and its role in the Gotchiverse. There's going to be some real alpha, I'm suspecting, in this, so you definitely want to stick around. At the very least, for the first bit, we'll have a little break where we can go into more of the purchasables and give you guys a chance to take a little break before we get into the rest. There, we got Master Yang, who's going to hype us up, founder and sentinel of the 8-Bit Gamers Guild. Among many of the other titles he has, will give us his take on crypto art, grassroots art communities forming. He's spent significant time in the Rare Pepe community and fake rares, and so he knows quite a lot about how these communities got started and what really drives NFT art communities. And of course, some hype, and we got some inspiration for more artistic types to get involved in the Gotchiverse. The last keynote presentation for today is going to be NyanKong, and he is a Pixelcraft member, heavily involved in all the design choices, or a lot of the design choices that were made with building the Gotchiverse. And so we'll get to hear his experience, any visions he has for the Gotchiverse, and maybe he'll get to share some challenges he faced when he was designing a lot of these. I believe he designed a lot of the installations, and among other things. So that's going to be a great opportunity to discuss, maybe some ideas he has around future installations as well. We'll have another break shortly after that. We have a little proposal for you guys. And then after that, we'll get right into the artist intros. This is an open invitation, not only to the artists we reached out to, but anybody in the audience who feels they have been working on something creatively, whether they've actually launched their first NFT or they're thinking about it and they have the artistic talent. This is going to be a good time to get to know you. And so if we can get 3 to 5 minutes of your time, we can get you up on stage. Alongside some of our other speakers, we got Roxiano. I know Zbot's going to be up there. We got a few other, I think Rigo J Mortis, got Bin Lagan. I got a couple questions for those guys. And so we'll be going through that and giving you guys a chance to get your names out there as artistic types in the Gotchiverse. And so that'll be really cool. Also, meme lords. We have the meme lords of the Gotchiverse. I think you guys are in here. If you do want to talk about anything regarding memes that you've created, or what you would like to see in terms of more memes and fun animations, or anything really in terms of like Aavegotchi art culture, you're welcome to come up there as well. And so after that, shortly after that, I got a few other roundtable questions if you guys want to take them. I think they are kind of interesting questions. And then we'll get right into a little summary and closing for the day. And then we'll do our performance and showcase reel, where we have a multiple audio artists. We have Zombie Shepherd, NoFuturistic, got Phase, we got DJ Super Paul, who've all put together their own sets, live not live, some recorded, some live. Put those together for this evening, and so well, not this evening, later today, near the end of the day, end of our day. We'll be playing that out and also giving you guys a chance to flex all the work that you put into any artwork that you've done that you haven't showed anybody, or maybe you have and we haven't seen it in a while. This will be a great chance for you to flex some of your work. So what I should say is I encourage y'all to hold back on anything that you want to show off. Wait for the drop and the performance, the showcase reel at the end, where you'll have 30 to 60 minutes to show off all the work that you've done, and we'll have an epic thread of all the Aavegotchi artwork that exists out there, including memes too. So that's a whole kind of summary for our day. You can also look at this link here if you do need to reference anything I just said to see where we're at. Here's the link for you. That's on our GMI Notion page. But right now, we will kick off with Jesse GldnXross. We'll get him on stage. We all know Jesse. Most of us know him. And he recently dropped the alpha of fake gotchis. So I'd really like to hear from him and maybe get into more details around that. I see him on stage. Is someone able to pull him up? I don't think I have I do actually have the permissions to do that. But for some reason I don't see any of the requests to speak. I can see the hands up.
Yeah, this is the same problem in the other servers. So I think, is anybody with permissions in the crowd that can do it?
It looks like it's working. I'm zapping.
Okay.
Yeah, he just invited me up, so I could jump off and bring him up. I don't know if I have those permissions here though.
I can do it.
Yeah, it's just
I'll see
weird for me.
Oh, unless Michaela, you said you have it or what? Are you good?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Sweet.
Then I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, Discord's been real weird with me lately. I get all kinds of issues like this. So
Yeah, it's just having an issue right now with the audience coming live. I can't interact with the audience right now. I just pulled No Future and Roxy up here, so I know it's working. Just got to get Jesse up here.
cool.
Hey, there we go.
GM. Oh man.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Discord today, but I'm glad you guys were able to get me up. Had the hand raised there, and I was like, should I put it down and raise it again? And here we are. So super excited for the GMI Art Summit. I think this is a great idea. I think this is something that should be an annual event, if not a quarterly event, or just something we kind of live and constantly have a daily routine here in the GMI. I see you guys growing and continuing to just grow and influence as Aavegotchi grows, and now with what you guys are pushing forward here with like the Aavegotchi artwork. I think the future is bright for all Aavegotchi creators and artists alike. So just super excited to be here, and glad you invited me, Hefe.
Yeah, this is a really special event because it happened to line up so perfectly with your guys' announcement of fake gotchis and the whole art curation program that's going to be getting implemented now. It's really exciting. I think the art summit will always be a great place to showcase that sort of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, for my role tonight, it's tonight where I'm at. I just want to kind of give a background on the Fake Gotchis announcement and maybe some backstory on that and what it means for anyone listening in who's like, what the heck is Fake Gotchis? I guess it is very fresh, so it's worth kind of running through what Fake Gotchis is and why we want to have this as a platform. and then of course give some shout outs to some of my favorite artists in the space, and maybe share a link or two that's worth sharing. So with that, I guess, Hefe, should I get started?
That all sounds great to me. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. All right. Well, again, thanks for everyone just kind of gathering here. I think this is just so exciting. The last summit was great, and then this one being focused on the art and the creators in the space, I think is just equally important, because really Aavegotchi has always had art at its origins. Whether it's the fact that kind of the proof of concept, or whatever you want to call the projects that Dan and I had worked on leading up to Aavegotchi, were also art based. Like I feel like we're creatives, but we are also, and when I say creatives, I mean like a designer in one sense, but also, what makes an artist an artist. And I think we do have some of that in what we do, because if you look at BullionX before, that was a project where we were experimenting with smart contracts, and the main focus, as with Aavegotchi, was pushing forward something that hadn't yet been done with smart contracts. But the way we would go about doing that was artistically. So we got together with we were able to collaborate with a lot of different crypto artists in the space. And this is like 2019, 2020. So pretty super OG artists that we got to work with. And OG is one thing, that's just timing, I guess. But I think it also means like really talented and influential, and they had an impact on the space. And so working with people like Wizard X, Hugh Dresman, and even Coldy, we got to work with a lot of names that everybody still follows today, and names we can be proud of having collaborated with. So that's kind of the backdrop. Is we are definitely art first, and all that said, it's like, yeah, we want to build the Gotchiverse and games, but at the end of the day, it's all about the creativity and having a framework or a platform where everyone can create together. So that's kind of what we've always done, whether it was that, or even, we heard that wonderful beatbox from Dan. He really cranked it up there at the end. And, we were in a band and all that, and made a lot of original music. We didn't really care much for doing too many covers, because it's always about the creative process. And so having an art summit like this, I think, is very appropriate. And it's just very pleasing to me to see so many talented people gathered together around something that was just a kernel of an idea 2.5 years ago. So with that said, it should really be no surprise that here we are with so many talented people. And it took a while to get here, right? So I think the one thing I want to do was just kind of give the shout outs to the process and how we got here. When some of you were here at the very, very beginning of Aavegotchi, and you may recall names like Vanilladelphia and Coedo, who I don't think they're here in the chat with us today, but they were, among others, very influential, and even created some of the earliest wearables alongside Zbot. I mean, Zbot created the great majority, but we did have, and very early on, there was that opportunity for other creatives to come in and work with wearables at the earliest stages. So if you're wearing that really exclusive head wearable, the beer helmet, that was created by Vanilladelphia, and some of the wonderful pieces were created by Coedo and many others. So about a half dozen of the community, actually. So I'd love to see some of them come back and re-engage with Fake Gotchis going live, or with the Art Summit, and I think it's an opportunity to kind of re-engage with some of those talents that are out there, and we're there at the very beginning. And then kind of the evolution that we started to see, okay, we did wearables and some wearables together, but then we started to see things like commission work, right? Like taking the Aavegotchi and hand drawing it, and you start to see Vector Scribbles and Roxiano creating all these wonderful pieces that were popping up on Twitter and OpenSea, and it definitely got my attention. I was like, this is beautiful artwork. This is awesome to see the Aavegotchi as kind of the base layer, and now you see these derivatives, and people are paying to commission these. They want to see their Aavegotchi come to life in different ways and different scenarios, and And so that's quite powerful. And then that kind of evolved into, okay, it's not even commission works. It's, just organic artwork coming from all sorts of people we'll get to meet and hear from today. The Rigos and Ben Lagens and all of you guys that have been stepping up and just surprising us every other week with amazing artwork. So my message is it's all very inspiring. It's incredible to see. And it cumulatively started to crystallize my thoughts on what we could do to further support this in a technical sense and with a DApp. And I've always been an advocate for, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the bazaar and how we could expand the bazaar. It already does some of the most volume as an NFT marketplace on Polygon, but it'd be really cool to expand the library, so to speak, inside the bazaar without watering it down or filling it with things that don't need to be there. And so very, very early on, kind of the backstory was maybe we just need to create a smart contract where people will be able to go into the UI at the bazaar and they can mint something. And that was kind of, pretty straightforward. And as you do when you're building with Aavegotchi, you start to refine and iterate and think about how to make it more valuable to both the artist and the collector. And if we're going to do this, there needs to be something special about it from a technical sense. And so it wasn't really, we were kind of at a point where we were seeing the activity on OpenSea, and the artistic kind of explosion was already happening inside the Discord. And we knew we wanted to do something with this. And quite admittedly, it wasn't really, there was some focus on royalties and things like that. But it wasn't till I went to Miami earlier this year and got exposed to rare Pepes and fake rares, luckily through 8-Bit Guild and Master Yang and what those guys were kind of already doing with the Pepegotchi. And so I was able to, down at Miami for the NFT conference and the Bitcoin conference, actually get some in real life FaceTime. And, it's incredible what can happen when you're face to face. As much as we love virtual events in the metaverse, that was really eye opening for me to learn about this kind of curation that was happening on not on an EVM blockchain, but kind of outside of my periphery with these fake rares and the fake cards. And I just thought that was, super impressive and had potential to be kind of a standard for other projects and other collections, because that would give it more meaning. When I think of art, all things, if you're an artist and you go in a room and you have all the tools and you have everything at your disposal, you're not going to make inspired art 9 out of 10 times. Usually, it's a head game at that point. You have to put constraints either on yourself or the tools that are available to you. And so having a framework, having some constraints is really a prerequisite to creating great art more often than not. And so that whole idea of an open-ended, just press the mint button in the bazaar thing, that really wasn't, I knew there was something wrong with that. And then learning about this idea of you can put a cap on it and it can be something that's collaborative and done via this kind of access card. It was just so perfectly crypto and perfectly in line with what I think Aavegotchi already was kind of appealing to. That's why there already was the Pepegotchi in this crossover. We were appealing to that side. And so that was kind of the backstory there on where we started to really seriously consider that kind of model. And to my knowledge, we haven't seen that model on any EVM chains. And there, the cool thing about building it ourselves is we got to even take it a step further and think about, okay, let's think about the royalties again and take a little deeper look at that. And well, we just finished up Gotchi lending. And as you guys know, with Gotchi lending, you have that kind of pie chart, right? When you're deciding what you're going to lend out and how you're going to go about that and what the split will be between you and the borrower. And in some way, that kind of just made sense for the royalties and this idea of guilds like perhaps GMI, we'll wait and see, many other guilds, or individuals. They could collect the cards and basically become the curators, because there's this kind of question, this problem to solve with the the Gotchi collection, which was who's going to curate it, who's going to say what goes in and what doesn't. And so the cards do that to a certain extent, but then aligning the incentives where the person who has the card may not be the artist. That was a big insight that really set things in motion, where we looked back at Gotchi lending and said, hey, we could apply something similar here where, once again, you'll be able to kind of collaborate with somebody, a stranger on the internet perhaps, and hardwire what terms are. So we don't know what those terms will be yet, but it could be 20/80, 50/50, and it could be the publisher could be a guild or an individual, and they may have a certain aesthetic or style that they're promoting and curating, or it could be the artists themselves. They are both the publisher and the artist, so it's super flexible in that sense. And I think that's one of the things that, as these pieces started to click together, I just got more and more excited about where this is going. And I could tell this week, like everybody else here in this room seems to have latched onto that as well, and sees, where this is going and what's unique about it. So we're busy reaching out to both Gotchi Gang and at the same time talking to some of our old friends from the OG crypto art space that we came to know even prior to Aavegotchi. And it'll be nice to have, Aavegotchi went in the GameFi direction, so it didn't really appeal to a lot of our friends from BullionX and those early conversations. But I think this kind of brings everything full circle, and that's what's so satisfying about it. Is it's like a second pillar to the Gotchi economy, and yet it can appeal to people that maybe aren't interested in metaverse or aren't interested in the gaming aspects or the Alchemica. And that's totally fine. And yet here's a whole nother venue for people to express themselves and get to know Aavegotchi, or vice versa. They already know it and they want to share it. So that's kind of the background loosely on the development of the fake Gotchis. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Zybot, of course, was hugely influential throughout the whole process as well. He was a huge advocate early on for getting more art into the bazaar, and I'm excited to say, we're almost there now. We're probably just a few weeks away from launching fake Gotchi smart contracts, and it's going to be really, really special. And it's cool because we're going to see a lot of art today that maybe some of it will be held back and minted as a fake Gotchi. I don't know. And maybe there's other pieces of work out there that are ready to go or already minted, and that's totally okay too. That's super cool. And so the variety of Aavegotchi artwork that already is and is coming is just super, super exciting. So I want to share one link here. I'll drop it in the amphitheater. A shout out to our friends at Museum of Crypto Art, MoCA. You guys are probably very familiar with them. Some of you may have already seen this. They tweeted this out yesterday. They just launched their MoCA rooms, and one of the rooms that they built was the Aavegotchi room. And of course, right now it's filled with Aavegotchis, but we may have to get our own room going at some point, or multiple rooms, and there's going to need to be some space made for all these fake Gotchis and perhaps a lot more of the art that we're seeing out here today. So shout out to Museum of Crypto and everything they're doing. Renil, I think he might be in the room here. He said he'd try to make it today, but it is the weekend and short notice. The work those guys are doing is amazing, and I'm so happy that they are always showing love to Aavegotchi and very engaged. Gotchi Gang / MoCA. It's beautiful. So I think there'll be a lot more to do there. Always love working with Renil and in the team at MoCA. And I really don't have a whole lot more to say right now. I just wanted to kind of prep a welcome message and give you guys a bit of backstory on the fake Gotchis and the parts that I find most exciting about it, which I think is just how it creates this framework for us all to be inspired together. And we'll see where it goes from here. But I'm just super, super bullish on just max enjoyability that we're going to get out of this, no matter what the market says. This is really for us. It's for Gotchi Gang. It's for Aavegotchi DAO. I mean, just the queue. If we talked about the queue alone, that kind of DAO curation element that's baked into the fake gotchis, that alone is like super, super exciting. And we'll have some UI. I wish we had one to show you today, but we'll have some dashboard UIs mocked up. But imagine something like a sushi kind of rotating, one of those sushi restaurants where all the food's rotating around the room. Imagine that, but it's your artwork, and you can promote it and show that these pieces are confirmed as ready to drop with a 5-day countdown. In the meantime, the whole community gets to look them over and either get A, excited about them, or B, notice and check them for anything like a harmless typo, all the way up to some low effort trolling, nice, not safe for work stuff. And that's super powerful. That this will be a truly DAO created, collaborative, decentralized art collection. And I think it seems like all the pieces are coming together really well. So we're super excited about all this, and I'm so glad that it just Kismet, it just worked out here with GMI independently. The whole art movement that's organically grown here with Aavegotchi also happening right around the same time. We were able to kind of make sure we are ready for this and get it announced. So with that, I will hand the mic back to Hefe, and just nothing but high fives all around for everybody that's here.
Thank you for that. So eloquently said. And I share your excitement. We actually, speaking of Mocha, we actually have Ranil in the audience. Maybe we can get him up on stage if he really wants to touch on, just real quick on the display aspect and what they've been working on there. So Ranil, welcome up on stage there.
Hey friends, good to be here. Yeah, we've created something totally insane. I sent a video to Jesse that he can share. We are basically creating that are super inclusive and gasless and polygon with Mocha, and you can curate your gotchis into what we call Mocha Show. That's basically a depth for the browser where you can curate multiplayer exhibitions for NFTs, and that collection that we are doing there is limited to gotchis, but everybody can bring in their gotchis. So just drop your ETH address maybe in the chat, and I will grant you access so you can bring in your gotchis. So that's one side of what we are building. And then the Mocha Rooms product that we are building, which translates the curations into 3D, into different metaverse or virtual worlds across the metaverse, will allow us to, or also the Gotchi team, as soon as they own their own room, but we are already curating. So put all the community curated NFTs, all the Gotchis, into a 3D architecture, and then move them into Webaverse, where we launched our first own 3D exhibition world at verse.museumofcryptoart.com. You can access that. It's live. And there's a huge 32 slots Gotchi build with an impressive architecture by Untitled XYZ. Yeah, that's the photo in the chat. And we have curated the Gotchis that have been added into the Mocha Show so far into this, and translated it into 3D. And all the owners of the Gotchis are basically tagged in the show, and we will integrate a lot of libraries and APIs into the virtual worlds to basically make the metadata and the owner and more infos about the NFTs available inside the 3D spaces as well. That's what we are working on right now. And we've been always working very closely with Aavegotchi, and I've been collecting Bullonics for as one of the earliest people on that dApp. And working with Jesse, Dan, and the rest of the team is always a pleasure, and we want to tighten this partnership with Mocha moving into the future of Aavegotchi, and I'm super excited about that.
It's huge, you guys. What he just said, because Mocha, you guys are known in this space for the place to display your artwork for people to interact with it. I was listening to what you were saying in terms of 3D spaces. That's going to be huge for being able to show off your artwork across metaverses and outside of the Gotchiverse. Also having these places where we can go hang out and appreciate each other's artwork through like fake Gotchi and curating the artwork as well. That's going to
Dude,
be amazing.
I can't wait to do like the first like community curated fake Gotchi exhibition and bring that into like all these different worlds. Like we can do something together, maybe for next week or so, that we provide a space where with up to like 50 people can join there in 3D with voice and all of that. That's already like possible and ready to go. Like we can insert the Aavegotchi room from Webaverse into Mozilla Hubs and do a multiplayer session there together.
Oh, wow.
Yes, please.
Very cool. Let's do it. I'm game for that. That's awesome.
Renil, were you saying that there's a value in people dropping their ETH addresses here? Are you trying to get some access distributed potentially?
Yeah, totally. Like I will like drop a link how you join the curation into the chat soon. And I will like add all the addresses that are dropped as collaborators so you can bring in your Gotchis.
On it, sir. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that with us, and we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. I think Aavegotchi, Fake Gotchi, is going to be a big part of big partner with Mocha as we move forward. So very cool. So with that being said, a couple of things from Jesse's conversation there. Again, great presentation. I think one of the things that struck out to me from your conversation there was using the artist patron relationship to create great art. And I think one thing I could encourage for people who maybe are, they don't consider themselves creative, or they're just not interested in the creative aspect specifically. There are plenty of great artists out there who maybe have not done an art project. You might know people within your own circles in real life that create great artwork. And so this is a great opportunity to reach out to those people and say, hey, look, I'm not specifically talented artistically, but hey, I got this card and like it allows me to collaborate with you on a project. So maybe you can come check out Aavegotchi. It gives you a window to maybe explain what we're trying to do here. And then oftentimes I show them the video you guys put out for the Liquidators, that trailer. And that seems to get the point across and gets these artists inspired to make something to follow the lore. So, that's one way I've been approaching artists. And, I encourage people to do that too. Also, if they're not that creative themselves, they can always collaborate with others. That's going to be a big deal, I think. And so these cards are going to be quite valuable, in my opinion, in terms of what you can do with them creatively. I believe you were saying, Jesse, right? One of these cards will allow you to mint up to 200 of that work, right?
Yeah, that's right. You can do up to 200 editions of the same piece of work. So one original work, 200 editions. There's 7 2-1s, so each one is its own NFT, its own token ID, all of that. But yeah, you'll be able to mint up to 200 of those, which there's so many ways to go about it. But like if you look at like known origin and most of the main mintings on layer 1, typically those type of platforms I think cap out at about 25. So we really want to push the limits, take advantage of being on Polygon, and at the same time, these are able to be bridged back to Ethereum if we try to future-proof these things. So if there's any reason to bridge to layer 1, people can do that. And yeah, you hit on probably one of the most innovative parts of the smart contracts and the whole idea here of the incentivizing collaboration, because one of the things we recognized early on is we want to, fairly distribute the cards, and that means, certain people are going to get the cards that are not artists, right? And then you start thinking about, well, we want quality, we want really great art, so how can everybody be involved? We want to have everybody can have a role. And so, again, it comes back to things like the queue. We can all, curate together. But then there's also the really direct curation where if you hold a card or multiple cards and you accumulate cards, you're able to start to build out your own kind of series under the greater umbrella. And you can collaborate with, it may be one artist or as many artists as you want. And so, yeah, that collaborative aspect and that way for everybody to have a role to play is really important to us. And so I think it's pretty well reflected with the final design.
I was really impressed with that aspect. In my mind, opened up to many different possibilities in terms of like, oh, I got that family member who is artistically talented. Maybe I should approach them and see if they will be willing to collab with me on one of the series and get a card published under me, but also showcasing the artist. So that's gonna be game changer in my opinion. Also, in terms of design, we've seen what we've seen is since Aavegotchi started, since I joined, and before that, Aavegotchi art and memes were like always a big part of the Gotchiverse. So there has to be something to that, right? If an Aavegotchi is getting remade in all these different art forms, there has to be something to that. And I think, Master Yang will probably touch on this, but I think one of the reasons that makes Aavegotchi so special in terms of how flexible it is with what you can do with it is its simplicity in the design. It's very much like Pepe in that sense, where Pepe is a very very simple design. It's a frog, very simple drawing of a frog. But how many times has Pepe shown in pop culture and everywhere that we see, right? It's because it can be easily drawn to form a certain context. And Aavegotchi can kind of do the same thing. It can be redrawn many different ways in many different contexts. So I think that's what gives it that special, like the secret sauce to make it, so memeable and so versatile artistically, So that was definitely one of the things that stood out with me, just things I was thinking about while he was talking there. And so, yeah, that great conversation there. I know you had said that there would be possible hints at some artists you're working with. If that's the case, I'd be curious to know what we could be looking out for. If you have links or some alpha in that sense, I think we'd definitely be open to that. But it's your call, sir. If we're not ready for that, we'll definitely hang on and we'll wait. But okay, yeah, let's get him back up on stage if we can do that. I don't think I'm able to still. Welcome back.
Hey, back on stage here. Yeah, so I would love to name drop some confirmations on some of the artists that will be coming up, but I think it might make more sense for me to just kind of describe the general idea here, which is if you check out the Fake Gotchi's blog post at blog.aavegotchi, there's that part about 35 cards reserved for Pixelcraft. And so we're going to use those to reach out to some of our favorite artists. And basically, when the project goes live, the idea is that there'll be like X amount of pieces that will be ready to mint right away. And then the distribution of all the cards to everybody through the Aavegotchi airdrops and everything. That'll all go out immediately, pretty much around the same time. And so those initial ones are kind of being referred to as the summoning works. And so the idea there is to split those summoning works in half, where we have basically Gotchi Gang represented, and then we also have people that have made a name for themselves, made an impact in the space, OGs in the crypto art movement that we all think highly of and are super excited to even grace our collection from day one. And so what we're trying to do is fill out the most epic possible kind of summoning works to summon this collection and kind of kickstart it. And so that's kind of the premise of it. I think that came through in the blog, but I feel like, it's always a trick with these announcements and blog posts. You don't want to make it like 20 pages long, but you also want to like get everything across so people read it. So maybe that's worth kind of, that's good to know and kind of explain more. Because I kind of reread it and felt like that didn't come across. I don't think we actually said the term summoning works. So we're really excited about that, and I wish I could drop a name right now. I can tell you that we're just being very, very purposeful about who we reach out to, and it's a lot of our personal favorites and people that we know align with Aavegotchi. They're already into Aavegotchi to a limited extent, and they're also fantastic artists. So that's kind of the angle we're going with. You could also, Zybot knows what we're talking about here. So,
Ooh, yeah.
I see you mentioned Wizard X. Wizard X would be awesome. So I hope Wizard X would join. That would be amazing. The last time I worked with Wizard X, he actually built our BullionX CryptoVoxels parcel. So if you ever go to CryptoVoxels and you find the BullionX parcel, that was our gallery, and WizardX actually built that for us. So we go way back. I wouldn't be surprised to see WizardX in the mix, but I cannot confirm nor deny at this moment. But lots of love for WizardX. But yeah, Hefe, does that help? Do you think that probably didn't come across?
Oh,
yeah.
That definitely clears it up. So it's 35. Those cards are going to be allocated to 35 releases, right?
Yeah, and we might use all 35 for the summoning works. It might be a lot less than that. It might just be 35. We'll either spend them all at once, or we'll save a few for another day. But we want to get, internally we're kind of like looking at it. Looks like about somewhere between 18 and 35 makes sense. So got to have room for what if we were at like I don't know, if we pegged it at 18 and we're at 18, and then like somebody like Wizard X comes through and we're like, oh yeah, we definitely got to include them. Then we got to include them. So we got a little breathing room there, a little wiggle room. Final number not quite confirmed for the summoning works.
Nice. No, that gives us a lot of context there. I'm excited. So and these are all going to be denominated in Ghost in the bazaar, right? Once these things drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's another part. I feel like this is a great time for the bazaar, like a whole nother aspect, like I say, a second pillar. And it's going to be very, very exciting. And it'll all be Ghost denominated. That's not changing in the bazaar.
Oh man, I'm so stoked. And I'm sure there'll be more pillars in the future, but this is like the next big thing that's really going to add more I don't know, this is a special vibe to the Gotchiverse and add to the lore. And what a great way to do some storytelling than through some artwork,
Yeah, absolutely. I could see so many of these fake Gotchis take on a life of their own. So it opens up a lot. And that's the whole thing, is we feel kind of like with the Gotchiverse, there's a limit to how much input, everybody can have. Like we can debate gameplay design and all sorts of like different traits and, all that kind of important work. But it's very obvious there's so much more creativity brimming from the DAO. And it's like we have to, it's a good thing to give more areas for everybody to have a direct impact. And I think this opens up a lot. So super excited to see what comes of the fake Gotchis collection.
Yeah, I can imagine artists curating their first fake Gotchi and then buying a real Gotchi and doing the cycle backwards. That's all right too.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, I really appreciate you going through that this morning and, giving us a rundown on what to expect. I think a lot of us are pretty excited about this, especially artistic and creative types. So for right now, what I would like to do is maybe take a couple minutes to give you guys just a quick little break. I know we had the hangout this morning. We've been going on for about an hour now. So if you do need to take a quick bathroom break, grab some water, grab a bite, maybe take 5. And in the meantime, what I would like to do is quickly just go over the NFT gallery that we have for purchases. And also, if Mike Callum, if we could just run through the purchasing or the bidding process for that for friends that are interested.
Yeah, my pleasure. So just drop the link again there in the amphitheater chat. So that's up. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to that link. That's our Notion page, and this is our Artist Summit catalog. So this is where everything's enumerated. So we got lot numbers, and you can see if the reserve has been met on a piece, and you can see what the current high bid is on a piece. You also got the artist name and then the artwork title. When you find something that you like, you're going to come back to the GMI server. You're going to go all the way to the very top of our channel bar on the left. And you're going to find a channel called Art Summit Bidor. You're going to go to that Art Summit Bidor, and there's a ticket panel in there. It's got all this in an explanation as well to help you see what's going on, but you'll just read through that. You're going to hit Ready to Bid, big green button right there at the bottom of it, and then that's going to open up a very private ticket between, essentially right now, me and you, and so it's just a one-on-one conversation, and you're going to let me know what lot you're interested in and how much you would like to throw down on it. We're going to update all those submitted bids live on the catalog, and so you'll be able to see if the reserves have been met and then what the current high bid is on any particular piece. So if you see something you like, go ahead and open a ticket, and if you see that your quantity of bid is not the current high bid, then you know that you're not taking that piece home. So yeah, that's happening well. I'm seeing a lot of emojis now on the ticket panel, so I think people are good there. If you have any issues or questions, just type it out in the chat or just let me know in a DM, but it should be pretty straightforward there. It's looking like it's working really well. We got a lot of bids flying in. I'm updating the auction catalog live, and so a lot of competition for some of these pieces. Make sure you scroll the whole page because we got some people sending some art over here kind of last minute and squeezing some pieces here in the tail end. And just so you know too, this auction is going to be running through the end of tomorrow's Gotchi Space hosted by NoFuturistic. So this is not just the duration of the summit for bids themselves. We will be taking bids all the way through the end of essentially Gotchi weekend.
And let's also mention that a lot of those pieces are not multiple mints. Some of them are exclusive small numbers. Like I think Leggins piece is a 5-piece, 5 quantity. But then there are other ones there that are just one, and one of one exclusive. So you just gotta keep an eye out.
Any multi-piece, any pieces that are multi editions, you will see it there in the lot title. It'll say like lot 12A through 12E, and that'll be like 5 pieces in that collection. And then we do have that also texted out there, 5 identical pieces. The large majority of these are indeed one-of-ones. Bid Lang's got that question. He's got the question on what about the reserve and the current bid. So the reserves are secret, so you won't know what the reserve is per piece. Those are set by the artists themselves. For the current bid, you would want to check the art catalog, and we'll be updating the high bid on those actual catalog piece pages as we go along.
Yeah, good point, Choina. You know where your ghost stimmies are going. And so the bids, again, just to reiterate, all the bids are denominated in ghost, but you don't necessarily have to pay in ghost at the time of paying if you do win the bid. So you will you can specify whether you want to pay in Alchemica or ETH or whatever you want to pay in, but just make sure your bids are denominated in ghost for accounting purposes. And so, yeah.
Hefe, just you scanning through the catalog. What jumps out at you, man? What are you liking? I'm the ticket interest is all over the board, which is fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of interest in everyone's contributed works here so far. But which ones are you kind of? Maybe you don't want to play your hand, but which ones do you think you're maybe trying to attack?
My favorite one is mine, so go bid on that. I'll bid on it too. No, but seriously, there is a lot of great work in here. I like what Rigo's put up here. Love his style of work, and then also some of those sus butterflies are looking real appealing to me. So without going into a specific piece, there's plenty to choose from. I think the sus butterflies to me are interesting, and I'm looking at some of the new work that I didn't get to see last night. Actually, there's some work that's come in after, like, I haven't looked. So there's some really incredible stuff here, man. Dang. Wow, we got some really cool submissions there last minute that I wasn't even aware of. So, that plaid samurai. Ooh, that's very cool.
Some of these pieces are also right behind the title. It lists that they're the GIFs, and so like Smokescreen's just listed one that he's looking at right here with the "Alone and Afraid" by Dead Polaroid. And so if you see one that's listed as a GIF and you're not seeing it animated, just mention it here in the chat, and I'll drop the animated version of it for you too, so you can kind of see the whole scope.
Oh man, there's gonna be some great deals today. I can tell you that. I gotta probably get some bids in myself here on some of this stuff. But I don't think you're gonna get a chance like this to get something really cool and exclusive like this probably between now and Fake Gotchi, right? Because Fake Gotchi is probably gonna be the next thing. So.
Yeah, my two NFTs, the ones by Roxiano, are 1/1s, and I do want to say something special about if you do end up with one of these NFTs or any of the original NFTs that have been commissioned. I will be doing a Fake Gotchi card set, and I will be distributing one to each of the holders who already have a piece from me for free as kind of like a drop later on. I do want to show that piece now. Give me a second, I'll drop it.
Bring in the heat.
Ooh, okay. Things are getting interesting.
Oh man,
Smoke screens, I dig yours too. That's real cool. That has a vibe. Post burn. Gotchi post burn.
awesome.
Oh,
So yeah, this art piece is modeled after my Aavegotchi wish fish, and it's basically showing that you're an OG. So if you end up with one of my pieces, you will get this. It will be a fake. It will be with the part of the Fake Gotchi collection.
Fake Gotchi. Dang.
Well
That's
executed,
fire.
Roxiano. You're showing people how it should be done.
Thanks. Yep, temporary watermark.
Guard the piece, right? Can't have someone go mint it. That's right.
Golly, I will warn you guys.
It hasn't been
No
minted
Future's
yet.
blasting me. No Future's blasting me with bids right now, guys. Make your wallets ready. It's gonna get competitive. We got all weekend.
I plan on taking everybody, so you better get in or all of your shit. All right. Stacked.
He's cleaning house. He's starting an art gallery, friends. It's gonna happen. All right, so there's the bidding. There's the ticket system. Have a look at the work. Feel free to get your bids in even after this event. We'll keep going through till the Gotchi space on Sunday, so you have some time. But definitely don't sleep. Make sure you get your bids in on these. And so with that being said, I would like to invite Master Yang on stage, and we can get into the next part of our discussion here. And so, Master Yang, you are welcome to come on stage. If someone can pull him up there.
Yeah, Hefe, what about the OpenSea and lens drops? Do we want to announce that real quick? Just
Oh, you know what? Why don't we get that in here? Are you able to take that one there?
I actually no. Maybe Z5
Okay.
Mycelium is looking at it. They've been working on the Notion, so
Yeah, so let me just help with this. It's going to be a little bit easier with Zombie after the fact on the stream, because you will see on the stream that he will be able to like physically show you the arts, but I'm going to just drop a whole bunch of links for you here and just verbalize them, because this is kind of off the cusp here. So that first one there's from Bowtied Nerd. The second one's going to be from Bowtied Nerd. So these are both Lens collects that you guys can pick up off of Lens from our artists here. This is going to be OpenSea collection from Rigo. There's lots of links that don't have definitions. This is sloppy. Work with us. This is a live rectification. So Rigo's got 2 collections still living on OpenSea, the Self-Portraits and the Daydream Homes. Aim Pixels has got a collection over on OpenSea as well. That was her collaboration with the Portal Mages. Shout out Portal Mages for the happy birthday. They've definitely set the tone for what a gaming guild can look like, and they're doing good stuff. This is from Avid. He's got a Polaroid project that's currently live on OpenSea as well. He's got a lot of material there. Same thing with Dead Polaroid. He's also dropping a lot of good stuff as well. Let me grab these. He did some collaborations with, I think it was Pranksy and NFT Boxes. If I'm getting those wrong, someone will correct me there. But these are 2 pieces that he did with those. This one here that just drops actually on Near Chain. So good on him. That's hyper exploratory to be over there these days. And then Gravy just dropped these on us, these last 3 Lens posts right here. If you've been following Gravy at all on Lens, he is dropping the Gotchi cans. So he's up to, I think, his 5th, 6th, and 7th pieces are these 3 Lens posts right here that are in
And
chat.
he said that was going to be it, so...
Okay. So he's keeping his best pieces close to heart. He's waiting for fake Gotchis too. And then these are just links out to Roxiano's Gamer Gotchi and her regular Gotchi, but these are indeed being supported through the today's auction system, so you don't have to do anything on OpenSea specifically for these pieces, but here's the location of where those are at. Past that, everything else that there's one more here at the very bottom. Let me hop on mine and grab this one because it's a goodie. He's being humble here. Dun, dun, dun. Let me grab this one and we'll get this up. This is something I'll definitely be grabbing a copy of today. This last Lenster post is actually Cosmic Spaghetti from Zombie Shepherd, and so this is his feature length. It's the full version of the trailer that you may have seen him drop on Lenster here recently for Cosmic Spaghetti. And so he's actually got a lot of interest on an individual level from the Lens Protocol team. They've kind of been eyeballing his work and paying attention to the fact that he's doing some cool stuff. And so this Cosmic Spaghetti is his first big asset drop on Lens, but I do not think it will be the last. So there's a waterfall right there for you of referral assets. We got great artists in here that have existing bodies of work. We got people that are giving us work for today. And we got people holding stuff back for fake Gotchis too. So make sure you guys are definitely just paying attention to everything.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to shout out Gerline Zim Teemo in the crowd there. She is the animator of Cosmic Spaghetti and the director. We're a team. And yeah, I just wanted to let everybody say hi to her. You know, she's the artist. So it's a team effort.
Very
And
cool
also,
work you put together there, and I'll definitely be grabbing one of those.
That's going to end tomorrow before the Dow call. So you only have 24 hours to collect that. And
okay.
Those gravy cans are running out too, so there's lots of FOMO on Lens. So that's why I just wanted to make sure we shouted that out before we moved on, because those gravy cans might be gone by the time these keynotes are over.
Dang, I think I'm gonna try not to sleep on that, but you know, see, shout out to Gerline also for doing the artwork on that. That's dope. I love that art style.